So here we go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the From Overwhelm to Abundance Summit. I'm your host, Marty Willette. And today we have Jafree Ozwald. Jafree
Yay!
yeah, Jafree's in Thailand, and we've been struggling with technical, tons of issues. It is what it is. So I'm going to read a little bit of your bio.
Okay.
So now that I know you, now that we've been going back and forth, this resonates for me.
Good.
Jafree is a gentle yet powerful soul who's discovered what people have been searching for their entire lives, the enlightenment experience. Since his spirituality awakening returned from India in 1997, he has helped tens of thousands of people around the world consciously activate and harness their supernatural manifesting abilities and start creating a miraculous life that they love. He is a powerful intuitive, Akashic record reader, a personal manifesting coach, and a tantric workshop leader. He facilitates tantric manifestor workshops in Bali, Thailand, and next year in Egypt for those who want a live person experience, and how to awaken their kundalini, increase their manifesting vibration, and physically attract the life of their dreams. Welcome, Joffrey.
Thank you.
Is that like boring? And when you hear people read about you, how does it make you feel?
Oh, that, like, who is this guy? Do I know this guy? Jesus.
All right.
It is all true.
It is all true. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
So you're going to be, you obviously you haven't watched any of the interviews because they haven't been released yet, but it's interesting the different perspectives we've had. So we had David Essel, who is all about work, and working harder and doesn't believe in the law of attraction. I think he wrote a book called The Faults in the Law of Attraction. And then we've had a time management guru who has an app called Remember the Milk that has you every single thing you want to do, you put in this app and it reminds you all the time. You never have to think about it, which was kind of amazing. And we've had a lot of mindset coaches who talk about your to-do list is killing you. It's all about your mindset and stepping into the future person that you want to be and come from that place with making decisions on what you want to accomplish each day. So I'm loving to hear your perspective. So the premise behind the summit is your to-do list is killing you, right? So scratch your to-do list and live in abundance. Right? Like obviously we have things to do every day, but like look at it from a place of love and just being and not be stuck in the doing. So after I just gobbled that all over you, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a very, very deep issue. Like when you go look really deep down into the psyche, to even the collective unconscious of every human being, and why are we stressed? You know, like when we're babies, we're not born stressed out. Right. You know, we're born very relaxed, very open, very curious, very like in the moment, playing with life, and very, in some way, blissfully orgasmic with life. Like this is our nature. This is our real core nature. And so somehow we get covered up with all of this conditioning and these ideas, you know, and beliefs that say like there's not enough time, there's not enough money, we gotta work faster and harder, and there's a lot of fear, we could get killed, you know, like we're gonna die. Like these are all just completely false beliefs on the spiritual plane, which is our true nature is this divinity, it's this divine being at the very, very core. And that's why religions are constantly throughout history just, you know, you'll find religion in every timeline that people are turning towards some sort of belief system to try to get back to their true nature. And because we have completely forgot as a race, like the human race is absolutely lost. It's slowly getting back. Like there's an awakening happening on the
Yeah.
planet, and it's slowly happening. It's like little tiny popcorns. You know, the heat is getting turned up, and people are like, well, where do I turn for truth? Where do I turn for, enlightenment, or find the peace inside my soul? And this religion's not working, this money's not working, this relationship's not working. And so it's like people have to turn to very, very deep place inside, and they have to get lost in order to be found again. And so what's happening is there's a whole shift of people actually, stopping whatever it is that they thought was going to bring them bliss, and coming back to their true nature, which is this baby inside of us, which is absolutely full of bliss. And it's absolutely curious with life. And so when we meet the to-do task with this kind of baby, innocent, sweet, pure consciousness, which is just like, wow, look at this to-do list. Wow, like look at these interesting things that I'm gonna do today. There's no stress, there's no time, there's no money, clinging to money and fear. Like all of these concepts are really what causes death and disease, because we get attached to these ideas that that we are the body, and once the body goes, you're gone. There's no more you anymore. And if you've read enough near-death experiences, or people who've crossed over and come back, and children who've crossed over and come back, you'll see, I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands, they all have basically the same thing. There's another world that we experience. And, science and doctors have proven, Anita Morjani, has proven that she had terminal stage 4 cancer and died on the table. She was gone, and then she came back and revived herself and came back to life, and she's totally healthy now. And it's amazing. I mean, so there is life after death, and we forgot that. And so we just have to remember that we don't die, and we're on an eternal journey. And this is the truth. And once you get into that level of feeling and your consciousness, and you really start living as a spiritual being in a human body instead of a human being, trying to be spiritual, right? It's that flip. It's just like absolute commitment to the truth. And so once you come back to the full truth, and you have to kind of throw away society and everybody else's like collective consciousness, like what they believe is true, because most 99% of people that you meet out there, they're not living as a spiritual being in human form. They're trying to get there, through whatever things, drugs or whoever, just trying to create another reality. So the most important thing, you just come home to yourself, is what I found. This is the only thing that really matters for me in my life, is when I'm absolutely 100% at home in my heart, and living from my heart, and doing from my heart. So it's like I'm taking action on my to-do list, and it's like, yeah, if it gets done today, fine. If not, there's tomorrow. And if somebody's pressuring me to get it done faster, I will let them know, hey, you're pressuring me. How does that feel for you to put so much pressure on someone else? Does it make you feel more relaxed, more enlightened, more free? It's like the question, would you rather be, right about your life, or free? It's like, are you living from ego, or are you living from soul? And most people, like you'll see, like, most people, especially like bosses, they feel like they have to live from the ego, because that's their job, is to live from ego and to push people, and there's not enough time, there's not enough money. They live in that box of limited resources, and they're not living in their soul. And that's why they die pretty early and stressed out, unhappy, but tons of money, but they spend all their money on trying to get healthy again. So, and it's just general.
Yeah. So let's play devil's advocate, because you're going to have people watching here. They're going to say, wait a second, I have to make a living. I have to feed my family. So,
Sure.
And I am a boss, and I'm required to produce as a boss. So is there how do I shift, or what do I shift my mindset to? Like, what's my next step?
Yeah, well, basically you have to feel the pain that you're already in. This is the hard part.
Mm.
You have to actually allow it and feel it and say yes to it. You have to welcome it in your body and say, okay, yeah, the life I've been living has created so much pain, so much emotional stress, so much anxiety, so much I can't sleep and blah, blah, blah. It's like there's all these things. And so you just feel that. And you're like, okay, this is what happens when I have this limited belief system. This is the reality that I create. Okay. And so from that place, you actually, it's like you have your hand on a hot burner and you're like, okay, I got to take it off. Like you don't even think once your hand's there, it's so much pain. You just takes it off
Right.
automatically. And so once you actually feel the pain, you're just going to be like, well, I want to get off of this. Right. But if you keep like allowing yourself to really relax with it, your body and your mind, your whole mental system, your whole emotional system will be like, it'll start to download all the belief systems that you've acquired throughout your whole life that are causing you to be in suffering. And you'll be like, okay, here's another belief system. I have to do this to create money. I have to do this to be happy. I have to do this faster or whatever. And it's like these belief systems, they get released. When you feel them, it's like, oh, wow, this is a really negative belief that I didn't even know that I have. It's not connected to my soul. It's not connected to the unlimited, wellness at the core of my being. And then all of a sudden, it's like you just start to see it. It's like awareness lasers in. It's like, oh wow, this is a really horrible belief that I really believe in. I believe it my whole life. Doesn't create happiness. Doesn't create like expansion. Doesn't create freedom. And so it's just as long as there's awareness, then you're basically free. You can choose whether you want to go back to living that horrific belief system life or not. And so through that, it's a process of actually like feeling the pain, being aware of the belief, coming back to like the truth of who you are, and saying, okay, like what really matters to me in this life, like what's really real. What's real for me is what doesn't change, what doesn't come and go. you know Everything else is part of the temporary aspects of life. And so it's just going looking inside and go, okay, what never changes in this life? And that's this present, your pure awareness. It's always
So
present. Judge.
when we talked before, you gave me some steps. You said the first one, stop and feel the stress and feel what it's
Yeah.
doing to you.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then the next one said, feel the pain you're creating within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then honor it. Honor the pain and the anxiety.
Yeah.
Right. And then you said, focus on your heart and take 10 deep breaths. You said to start
Yeah.
meditation.
Yeah.
Talk more about
Yeah.
that. Like focus on your heart. Talk more about that.
Well, the heart is like the doorway to God, the doorway to your true nature. Okay. And this is really hard for people to understand. Like most people are like, that's just blasphemy or wrong or whatever. Like my true nature is not divine. My true nature is this limited, you know, time-bound being, and I am this body, and I have this pain in my body, and it's real. My suffering is real. My challenges in life are real. And so everything in the book is going to say, don't believe in, that you're an eternal being. But if you drop into your heart and you really focus on your heart enough amount of time and, for enough seconds in a row, which is really the kicker, because your mind is going to go boop, it's going to go think about something else and think about, you haven't trained your mind yet. So it's like once you train your mind enough to just stay present with your heart for 2 minutes, you'll drop into a state of meditation after 2 minutes. If you can stay there for 28 minutes, you're going to reach a very high level of deep, deep, deep spiritual experience. Okay? If you can stay there for 5 hours, you'll reach the level of a Buddha.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Where it's called samadhi, which is a very, very, very enlightened state where you completely get rid of all the pain, all the suffering, all the illusions, everything goes away, and you're completely free from this human suffering on all levels, and you never have to be reincarnated again. You're done. Okay, so 5 hours is really all it takes for you to completely be free in this lifetime. So, but staying present is what it takes. The mind doesn't waver and want, think about all the things that's more important than freedom.
Yeah.
I'm hungry, or my body hurts, or I can't sit here and this is boring. I'm not getting anywhere.
Right. Monkey brain starts, right? I could be more productive doing something else. And
yeah. And it starts like this monkey brain on acid, LSD. It's like it really believes things are real. I really believe, so fully that I need to get up and do this thing now instead of sit for another, 4 hours. So it's kind of like that. It's the mind really believes stuff is real, and then your reality follows that. So it's like we are always, always, always creating our reality. Always, we are the gods creating reality in each moment, and we define reality. The complete reality of our world is defined through our perception, through what we focus on, through what we choose to believe is true or not true, and it goes right down to the bones, like right down to the very core. And so it's just, you just got to really look at yourself. It's like you can't lie to God, there's no way you can lie, because it's like you are that, which is what's creating your life and manifesting everything, attracting everything. And so if you really believe, deep down, there's no God, this is all bullshit, and I'm lost, and I'm like, or whatever, and life is suffering, and I need to just stick to the grindstone and work harder, and if I work harder, then I will arrive. Yeah, that's your truth, and that will be your reality, and that will be your God. Your reality is working harder and pushing harder. If your reality says, you know what, there's another way, I don't have to work so hard, I can just realize the truth, and the truth will free me, and then you can come back to that path, and then that's your reality. So there's 7 billion different realities or more on the planet, and they're all true. Nobody's wrong. But the thing is that we don't believe that there's 7 billion perfect divine realities. And that's why there's wars. We think, oh, hey, this country has the right, or this religion has the right one, or or I have the right one over my husband or wife, or blah blah blah. And it's like, so then there's conflict because we're not honoring, 7.5 different, billion realities.
Doesn't it all stem from a scarcity and fear mindset? If you think about everything, the stress of daily life, everything comes from a scarcity and fear mindset. So I don't remember.
You got to look deeper. Yeah, where does scarcity come from in your mind? You have to trace it back. There's a root. When you first believed in scarcity or fear, you have to dig and dig and dig and dig and just grind all the way down to the very core. Where did that come from? Who am I really?
Do you mean like an event that happened when you were younger?
Yeah, it could have started with an event. Could have started with somebody told you this is something you should be afraid of, and you believe them. Or 100 people throughout your life told you the same thing. So it's like, it must be true. 100 limited, fearful beings, told me that I should be afraid. Well, then it must be true. But the thing is that we weren't born from enlightened parents. We weren't born in an enlightened society. We weren't born in an enlightened, friends or school system even, You can imagine if we had just even one enlightened teacher, in our life that was, helped us when we were young, like we'd be completely different animals.
Right. Oh, I agree.
So, yeah. So it's all about, just in some ways it's about asking for help from your own guides, from your own higher self, from your own connection to divinity, and asking for help to be free, because it's such a deep, twisted, convoluted system of limitations and fear-based thinking that it's almost like we're so stuck in it that we can't really unravel it. We're too caught in the honey, the stickiness of it. And it's like we can't really do it with the mind. We have to like step out into something beyond the mind to help us
So,
transcend the mind, because it's all mind.
so Joffrey, talk about your program and how that helps people.
Okay, so my program, I have got like 50 different manifesting meditations, healing meditations, spiritual meditations, and they're all it's called the Super Manifesting Program at supermanifestor.com. And it's like, $1,500 worth of material, but I give everyone a discount when they sign up. So it's really about, honoring, this divinity inside, and there's steps, there's a whole manifesting routine, there's an 8 habits that you do, and just follow these habits. And you might be doing some of them already, but there's others that I'm sure for sure that you're not doing. And these habits, when you implement them into your daily life, something opens up in your whole chakra system, like they start to relax, they start to align, your heart, your gut, your mind, everything starts to align. You start to quiet all of this mind chatter. You start to become more empowered. You start to become more centered. And there's a whole spiritual program. There's a financial program. It's everything. It's a complete life program. And it may take you, a few months to really, really get into it. So I give everybody 90 days. I say, if you implement this for 90 days and you don't see a huge shift, like if you don't start manifesting your dreams, like, I'll refund your money. Because if you actually do it, even after 2 weeks or even a week of doing it, you will see stuff change. You will see your life physically manifest things differently, relationships, money even. I mean, it's really amazing how powerful we actually are when we align with our power.
When we get out of our own way.
Yeah, this whole program was birthed out of this awakening I had in India in 1995. And so after that, it just came through, and it was like I couldn't stop writing, and I wrote for the next 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Things poured through. So this program is it's a result of that.
Your free gift. Talk about your free gift. Is this it says 6 free gifts to learn the ancient secrets for manifesting anything you dream to be, do, or have.
Yeah, there's videos. There's the first chapter, the manifesting manual. The manifesting manual is like the Bible for manifesting, really. It's got everything, and it's fun, it's practical, it's deep, it's very spiritual. You go just reading the quotes in that book and just completely wake you up. Like these quotes were all channeled, and and there's a money e-course in there. I mean, there's so much. It's the content is 20 years of content that I've been creating, like constantly creating content, and I just didn't stop. And finally, I kind of took a little bit of a slowing down the last few years, and so but I'm still creating new content constantly. It's like I realize there's so much, now it's all about helping people to access it and helping people find this content.
So is this all you grew up in? Is this all coming through you since your trip to India?
I mean, my dad gave me this book when I was 16 called Creative Visualization, and it changed my life. It's a very short little book by Shakti Gawain, very powerful, and it was all about just how to manifest. And I didn't even know what manifesting was until then. And then I started to apply what I was learning in that book, and I started to see things happen when I was 16. I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. I don't understand it. But he was very much tuned in, to his mom, which she was very like aligned with these spiritual principles and like, learning a lot of some spiritual teachers back then. So my grandma I could say my grandma has in some ways a lot to do with my path in some way. And, we went to church when I was young, went to Mennonite, church. And so it's like I was very religious when I was young, and I was like, oh, like God is the solution. We need to keep turning our hearts to God. And And I didn't really understand that God is not a concept. It's like
Right.
the reality of what is. Yeah, and
Mm.
it's evolved as you just keep. That's why we've got this time to evolve and grow and learn more as human beings and have fun.
Yeah.
To
I think
enjoy.
that's
This is basically what I understand as the secret. Is how to enjoy. If you're not enjoying your life, you're missing it. You've got something
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think we've forgotten how to enjoy it, right? It has to be planned. It
Yeah,
has to be, yeah, living from your heart instead of your head.
yeah, and it's like even the pain. It's like the pain can be, in some level, an enjoyment because it awakens you from the sleepiness, from the dullness,
Mm.
from just like, oh, 9 to 5, blah blah blah, same old life. I wish I could go and live a different life and travel and go to Thailand and have this amazing thing. It's like, no, it's like there's pain right here, right now, that can awaken you and bring you back to your heart, bring you back to taking these steps, these action steps to discover your true nature. And, the 8 habits manifesting routine does just that. I can't really call it like that because it's an awakening routine, and manifesting is just a natural byproduct of when you
Uh,
awaken to higher consciousness. It's like when you manifest stuff, you could just sit here in your room at a very high level of consciousness and things will start happening. Or and then some people are like, you're a very low level of consciousness, then you have to take lots and lots of actions to manifest. So it just depends on where your vibration is at.
I
Your
see.
manifest. Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's why people meditate. You find like people really dive into meditation for months at a time. They start manifesting their whole dream life and they don't know why. They're like, oh my God, I have the most amazing life. Well, you just awakened to a higher level of consciousness, and then naturally you start manifesting from there.
Wow.
So it's pretty simple.
That's so cool. So where are you off to next? You're in Thailand now. How long are you going to be in Thailand?
Until they kick me out. No,
You coming back to
no, I
the
don't know.
US anytime soon?
I'm probably gonna go back to Portugal. I spent the summer in Portugal. Just had an amazing, amazing time doing contact dance and just amazing community and surfing and just beautiful beaches. And yeah, it's like, yeah, with this business I can write and do videos and connect with people anywhere in the world. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been really blessed to make that decision, you know, to
Yeah.
do this path of
That's so
freedom,
cool.
20 some years ago. But, I just want to say to everyone out there that you are not in prison. You're not in prison. Everyone has the option for freedom right now. In this moment, you can be free from whatever stress you get from your to-do tasks. It's just a matter of really, really diving deeper into yourself beyond the patterns, the programs, the conditioning, the stuckness that that you're used to. It's comfortable stuckness. It's a velvet rut. And if you really drop into the pain, you go to a place that's blissful underneath the velvet rut. And
Mm.
that's the path, is how to go deeper into yourself, your spiritual path, your spiritual nature, and you find the bliss. And then from bliss, everything you do is bliss. It's like, oh, I'm working, cooking, cleaning, whatever. This is like chores or we're, making money. It's all the same. It's just like, there's no stress
Yeah.
because you're not making anything more important. Or, it's like because stress is basically saying this is more important than anything else. Like I need to make money to pay the bills. This is more important than taking care of my body. Well, really? I don't think so. If anything, like your health is probably more important. But yeah, if you don't have money to pay the bills, then you can't have health. So everything's the same. Like your relationships, if you have no relationships, you're going to be unhappy. Your health's going to go. It's everything's connected. So it's like you can't say one thing is more important. I think when you start to make these priorities and say like this is more important than that, you start to get lost in the system and in conditioning, and we start to forget that it's all more like, on a circle of just, it's all equal. It's, there's no, I don't know, there's no higher or lower. There's no hierarchy, really.
Well, you forget what's important to you. Like you forget what
Yeah.
really matters to you.
Yeah. And sometimes the most important thing in the moment can be just to feel how stuck and painfully stuck you feel in your situation with your to-do list, and just be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm a manifester, and I'm creating this stuckness, this stuck feeling. It's something I'm thinking about, and then I'm feeling it. So I'm manifesting this horrible feeling with my to-do list. I have a huge, horrible relationship with my to-do list, and it's a relationship that you get with your to-do list. So you're responsible for creating that reality in your chemistry in your brain by thinking how you think about to-dos. And so it really comes back to like, okay, maybe there's a different way. And just being curious, like a baby again. Just like, there's probably a different way to do this.
Yeah. You are source. You are source of everything you create.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Joffrey. I really appreciate this interview. Thank you very much for joining us today. You can find more.
Pleasure.
So to the viewers, the email you received today with a link to Joffrey's interview, there is also a link to his website and his free gift. Thanks again for joining us, Jafree.
Thank you.